Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new tutorial, and this time we are going to paint another one of the Blacktalons. In this case is the Idoneth that goes together with the Blacktalon. That is Lorai, the Idoneth. So the base, to know how the base was done, there is a tutorial already in my channel where you can see how I paint the bases. And now we are going to start painting this lady. So I'm going to start applying the contrast um, uh, frost hard, okay, and I will start with the capes as usually because it's the part that have more difficult access, and I normally is what I like to do, start with the most difficult part and then I go for the easier part later. And I want to start with a contrast paint, and I will apply this on this part here, okay. So we are going to apply this contrast on this part, okay. I go carefully, slowly, patiently. We are going to work with different type of blue and turquoise colors. I don't want to go too dark, I like more to keep a lighter palette. I think this workshop went a little bit too dark for my taste on this lady. So maybe I will deviate a little bit from the official painting of the miniature to go a little bit lighter. And I already touched a part that I didn't want to touch, but it's not going to be a big deal. Okay, so this is why I want to do these parts first, because it's very easy to touch other parts, and yeah, and normally you want to start from the most difficult or the less accessible parts to the most accessible ones, okay. This is part of the same tabard that goes here on front, okay, and as well these leaves. So I will paint the main dress on these colors, okay, something like that. Will fly here. Okay, so I'm doing that, and then of course it goes at the back here like that. So I will do all this and I'm back for the next step. Okay, while this is drying and I don't want to work close to that, I'm going to apply Glyph Orange on the fishes, okay. At the end I will go for, and here you want to apply it quite thin, and I think orange will be a very nice complementary color to the blues and greens that we are going to use on the Idoneth. Okay, and I want to go quite pale, okay. So if it's needed, I take additional water to water down a little bit the paint, okay, and to go thinner if possible. Okay, you can see I go, because I want to leave the fins lighter, and then here we want to do this type of tails. Okay, well, you can see I try to go quite light. Later on we are going to do the body darker. Okay, contrast paints are really a very nice way to speed up your paint. Some people use airbrush. I'm not using airbrush, and instead I'm using the contrast paints. I adapt to them very easily. I think is a great product from, or at least for me, is a great product. I really love it. I really like to use them, and it's speeding up a lot my paint job. Of course, they are not a miracle and you still need to work on them. But if you know how these paints are working and how to use, how to thin them, and you can really do very nice things with these contrast paints. Okay, so I'm going to wait now that all these dries. I think I will wait that all these dries and I'm back for the next step. Okay, next step I'm going to use this color, light turquoise. Okay, and I'm going to apply this on the cape. Okay, before we have done the clothes, now we're going with this turquoise. Most likely we'll need to do 2 layers because it's quite a thin paint, and I want to have a nice and bright color here. Okay, so I'm going to apply 2 layers of this turquoise. It's quite a transparent color, as you can see, so you have to be patient. And I'm doing this as well because you can see some parts are not that easy to reach, especially when we go on this here that is very close to the previous cape or the dress. We're going to do the inside and the outside of this cape. Okay, so I'm going to do this and I'm back for the next step. Okay, for the skin I want to give a little bit of greenish tone, so I'm going to use the Iron Rag skin. Okay, I'm going to apply this. Put some on my white palette. Now we apply. Okay, we apply a thin layer. On the hands. As well on the head. Half of the lights. Perfect. And I will do as well on top of the piece of cloth, because later on we're going to apply the white and we are going to make the illusion of transparency or translucidity more than transparency. Trying to be sure that I'm not missing any pair. Especially the neck part. So I will do the other arm and I'm back. Okay, while the skin is drying, I'm going to use No Eye Thermatic Blue and I'm going to apply this on the cape, but we have applied the turquoise before. Okay, I'm doing this to show you that you have to try to go especially in the deepest parts. And it's better to do this at the beginning because the parts are quite difficult, are quite inaccessible, some of them. So we want to be sure that we have a nice, we cover all the turquoise with this thermatic blue, and I'm almost using it as a wash, or as a thick wash, to help me later on to pop up the different details. Okay, something like that. Just reviewing, you want to avoid big pullings. For the removing now there, I will put something there that is missing. Just making a second look. Now it's looking good. Okay, next I'm going to use another contrast. Gorgunda, and I'm going to apply this in the main body of the fishes. I try to thin it down a little bit. And we just apply this on the main body. Trying to leave the fins with the previous layer only. Okay. The different fishes. Okay, I will do them all. Take your time. Okay, so I will do them and I'm back for the next step. Okay, next I'm going to use ultramarine contrast on the pants, on the trousers. I'm going to clean up one mistake that I have seen here on the drop. I have to with the Usha. No, Screamer skill. And then we need to paint the armor, or the base color, so I'm going to use silver for the armor. Okay, you want to apply a thin and a clean layer of silver, because over it we are going to do another highlight. So I will be doing that, and I'm back for the next. Okay, next step I'm going to use Retributor armor, and I'm going to paint the decoration that we have here. Okay, I'm going to do as well this thing. I think this I will do it in a different color, the other parts. Okay, so sorry, here. Next, I'm going to use purple, very dark one. So I'm going to use Leviathan purple, the contrast paint, and I'm going to do the boots. Take some water. Yeah, we want to be careful not to dirty the parts that we have already painted. And I want to play all with, as you can see, I'm playing all with blues and colors that are coming from or have a blue component like purple or turquoise. have very little exceptions to this color of the fishes that are more on the orange, and the gold is more on the yellow part. But I like to play almost everything on the blue type of color spectrum. Okay. Something like that. Just double checking that I don't miss any part of the woods. Some parts does not have that easy, are not easy to reach. Okay, next. Here is where I'm going to go as well from a different part of the spectrum, and I'm going to use Seraphim Sepia to do part of the stuff. Okay. Something like that I will do, and I will as well apply it here. And I will apply it on these things. Okay, and then I will wait that all this dries before doing the next step. Okay, next step, I'm going to use Mortarion Gvim shade on the skin. Just to give this extra green shade. I want to keep this. I won't apply where I have the, I don't know how it's called, the part that is covering the mouth. On the hand. Okay. I'm going to do an orange touch on her. So I'm going to take this one. Sorry, find it. This one. We've come orange. and I will apply it on this decoration that we have at the back. Okay. I was thinking how I will do the top part, and I think I will start first with this one, the contrast pillar glacier. I'm not that happy with this color. I think it's... So I will apply different layers on this thing. But I wanted to start with a very light blue. More likely we will need to go for darker blue later on. Like a lot to play with different layers of contrast as well. Okay, we'll leave it like that. Now we will go to the armor itself, to the metallic part, and I think I will use a thermatic blue over the metal part. To create this type of metallic. Then I will wait that all these colors dry before doing the next layer. Okay, so you can see I'm a little bit concerned if I will miss a little bit the contrast of the armor with the cape. But on the other side I wanted to give this type of blue shade on the metal. So I'm thinking I will give a more greenish tone to the cape later on. So I like it how the armor looks like with the thermatic blue. Okay. So I will finalize this application of the thermatic blue. I wait that this dries and I'm back. Okay. So this how looks like now. So now I'm going to do still a couple of more washes. I'm going to use a green filter. I'm going to use this one, and I will put it on the cape to go more into the green spectrum. So this is glaze is Weight Watcher green, and if you don't have it, what I recommend is to use the green contrast and dilute it with solvent. And we're going to apply this over the cape to give this green shade. Okay, and to add a little bit of differentiate the cape a little bit more from the armor. Okay, and as you can see, I go here over the waves that we have over the decoration. The idea is to really give this touch, and I will go even over the gold here, and then I move the gold into the green spectrum a little bit. I will apply it over there. Okay, and I will do as well here the cape. The important thing here is to increase the differentiation with the armor. Okay. Then I will use, because I want to create some shade on the eyes, I will use Black Templar, and I will apply it on the eyes. Later on we are going to clean up, but I wanted to create this really, I want to do like a dark makeup on the face. Okay, and now I'm going to take a blue, another blue. I'm going to take the rose heart, and I'm going to apply it on the staff thing. Okay. And I will wait again that all this dries, and then we are going to be ready to start doing the highlights. And the gems and all the type of decoration. Okay, I waited all this dries and I'm back. Okay, next step, I'm going to start working on the face. So I will start with white and we'll put it on in the eyes. Okay. This one is quite tricky. Okay, and I'm going to start painting as well the piece of cloth. I will do white on the parts where the cloth is loose, not that attached to the skin. So we are going to have as well the Idoneth, which was called the skin color. So the iron rack skin that we used before. I'm going to apply it. Here I'm checking what is the best. Yeah, I will do the eyes. I have black on my palette as well. Now I'm going to use the iron rack color. And I will leave a line to the back, but we need to clean a little bit the black. This eye is a little bit tricky because it's quite covered. Now I'm going to apply it on the head. I want to keep this greenish look. Okay. Now I have too dark. I will take a little bit of scribbing spoon just mixing it. I will take this color is, I don't remember well, Elysian green. Okay, similar color will work. It's like a greenish color. Just to be able to mix it with the Idoneth iron rag, sorry. And help on the transitions. We'll put this dark color at the inside of the ear. I like to give, like if it's makeup, all this black around the eye. I think it's make it look quite interesting. I like to keep this greenish color on the skin tone. I will take a little bit of the darker green. I will put it in some places. So here, on this part, you want to go the opposite, so the deeper part. The opposite I was saying. The deeper part should not the opposite. The deeper part should be green, and then the exposed part should go. The part that is less touching the skin should go in white. This type of clothes become more transparent when they are in very good contact with the skin, and they look more white, opaque when they are not in contact. So if we have a wrinkle, this wrinkle will look white. Things like that is good. And now to contrast with the skin, here we have different options, but I think I will go for gold. We're going to use Retributor armor, and we are going to do this type of ornament that she's wearing. And here is more difficult to reach. something like that. Good. I'm going to put the gold as well in other parts, like here on the hanging part. These things. Okay. We now start thinking on the details. So I will do this gold and I'm back. Okay, next I'm going to use Bajarro blue and I'm going to highlight the cape. Okay, Bajarro blue is this one. This Bajarro blue, this one. We are going to highlight here. And this will even increase more this mix, or you enhance the turquoise characteristic of this. Okay. And I will have as well green, just to help me on the transitions. I will use this green, Cyberit green. I will take some water. The green. We're going to apply the green next to the blue. We will have as well, I have as well Stellan green, that is quite dark. It will help me to do. I can mix it with a little bit of Bajarro blue. Make it darker here, and then I do the Bajarro blue. And back to the green. Okay, and then I will take Bajarro blue. And I need to do the back as well, now that I'm doing this. You want really want the blue to be present. We'll do something like that. also put a little bit here. Then the deepest part I will take Caliban green. Or Castellan green. I don't remember now if it's Caliban or Castellan green. Well, dark green. And I put it here. Okay. Now we'll take a little bit of cyber green and I will cover this. Okay. Then I will highlight the cloth, and for that I have blue horror and Calgar blue. Okay, this is blue horror. Where I put Calgar blue? Here it is. No, this is not. Here it is. So we'll start with the blue horror, with its water. And then I will help myself with some Calgar blue. A little bit of edge highlight on this, on the border of this cloth. Voy a bajar blue now. Take some fish wood. What was called this? Cantor blue. Like that. Something like that. Using the blue water. Blue water over here. Blue, bien, now I'm taking bajar blue. The sleeves. Okay, now I will take contour blue. Okay. Then I will highlight the other sleeve and I'm back. Okay, next step, I'm going to start highlighting the trousers and the boots. Okay, so to do the trousers, I'm going to use contour blue, Calgar blue, and for highlights, I'm going to use Fenrisian gray. Okay, instead of to give a more like a desaturated blue, and to have a different tonality than the rest. I'm not going to put too much of Fenrisian gray, maybe on the most visible. I will start first with Calgar blue, and I will start doing like that. And I will apply it on the knees. Okay, I will not, as I said, Fenrisian gray is just for the highest highlights. Okay, and now I'm going to take contour blue. I have all these colors in my wet palette, so I can play with them. Take a little bit more water on them. And now I'm going to take blue. I also have black in case I need for a very dark shades. Okay, a little bit more of contour blue, Calgar blue, sorry, and I go like that. This will give this type of textile look to this, that I like it. Okay, and I will do the same here. I'm sorry for my kids are screaming at the background. Okay, and now I will take a little bit of Fenrisian gray. And I will add a little bit of highlight on the knees. Okay, and I will put it here. And then I will put it on the folds there. Okay, and I will go here. I will highlight this part here. Okay, and I think that like that, I like how the trousers look like. I think it's good enough. Now let's go for the boots, because there it's very flat, the color, and I need to do some additional work. So I'm going to start with Jen Stiller purple, and I will start highlighting. So the colors I will use are Jen Stiller purple. Let me show. Okay, so this is Jen Stiller purple. I have Shadows purple. Okay, these two, and in case I need a very light highlight, I have the Kala Lilac. I think I will put, I still think I have enough, if not I will put more later on. But this will be in case I need, I will put some water just on the Kala Lilac, because I think I have enough, but this was a little bit too thick. It's have enough. Let's go. So I will start first with Jen Stiller purple, and I will start highlighting the parts that I wanted to be a little bit more visible. Okay, something like that. Okay. Like that. Okay. And then I will do this part here. I will take a little bit of the color lilac. No, and I will add some additional highlight where I need. And the thing I'm going to be careful is on the gems, not to touch them. Okay, now I take a little bit more of the color lilac. Okay, and I'm going to do the other wood in the same way. Okay, I put too much the color lilac, so then you can do the correction with Gen Stealer or even Shaders Purple if needed. I think Gen Stealer will work, and a little bit of Shadows Purple. Clean up this one here. Sorry. Okay, so now I will do the other wood and I'm back. Okay, next I'm going to start working on the gems that we have on the woods, and I'm going to use a turquoise color, something like that. You can also use Bahara blue, but I think I like a lot this turquoise color. Is the one I use for the cape as well. And I'm going to put this on the gems like that. Okay. I'm going to put the second layer. I will wait that this dries. So while this is drying, I'm going to start doing the waves or the swirlings that we have on the cape. And I will do them in white. So to do that, I will start with Celeste Gray. Okay, so I will apply, I have it, this one. So I will take a little bit. And the idea is to clean up all this. If you don't have Celeste Gray, the other option is to use Fenrisian Gray. And I will start working on having a well-defined waves, clean up and be sure that everything is. And then you can see that now the contrast here, the white did not work as I wanted. So I will take a little bit of the previous green that I used for the shading, and I will apply in this part, just to be sure that this part have the appropriate shade. Okay, this is important to guarantee that we have and I see that there is something that is not going there. I'm going to take a little bit of more, and I will go like that. Now it's okay. I'm sorry, I have some itching on my throat. And now I will keep applying the Celeste Gray layer. It's a little bit too thick. we keep applying the celestial gray layer all over this decoration, okay? So I will do that, and then I'm back for the next step. Okay, we also do, as you can see, the border here. And again, we want a clean work here. So take your time and do it carefully. Okay, so I have applied the celestial gray, and now we are going to use white. Okay, so I'm going to put some white. And we are going to whiten all the celestial gray to make it more, make it nicer, right? More cleaner is what I wanted to say. Okay, let's take some white. The celestial gray is needed to make this shading that you want to have, not to have super uniform color. But now the idea is to really, I will start applying at the edge, but you really want the white to be the dominant color on this. So on this spiky parts, or on the narrow parts, you want to put white, and here you can make the white a little bit translucent to create this effect of shade. On the edge you want to be solid white. Okay. And I do it like that. Like that, and here you want to highlight because it's facing up. Sorry, it was not showing that nicely in camera, but sometimes it's difficult to put it in the right angle. So what I'm doing is like that, really popping up the white. And my stone is screaming at it. Again. And here I let the white to fade out, unless I have a little bit of celestial gray, I will use it to help me on that. Okay. But this wave I want it to be brighter. Okay. Now we are going to do the other side. We'll start like that. Let the white to fade out there. And then I still have some green on my wet palette in case I need to do some small corrections. Like here I wanted to make this darker. I think I did a small mistake over there. I'll take some silvery green to help me this. I want this to be darker. like that. So I will keep applying this white. Especially for example here, it used to be like that. Taking some brown because I touched here a bit by mistake. That now I will apply here a bit more. And you want to do the same here. And I want to do this a little bit more whiter. Thing like that makes sense. Okay, you want to do a little bit more like that. And I think I like how it looks like that. So we go back to the gems. These ones here. Here we don't have too much to do. I will take a little bit of dark blue, Cantor blue in that case. I will put it on the top of the gem. To be fair, that gems are pretty small. Okay, now I'm going to take the white. And I do a small touch, small dot, where we have put the dark blue. This one was too big, so I need to do some corrections. This is quite a tricky part, to be fair. I'm taking black to clean up this one here. And as well this one I will make it smaller. And then thing like that will be good enough. We'll take now again the purple to clean up what I messed up here. And I will take black again. Okay, like that. We have more gems on the armor. I was thinking if I want to do them or not, but I think at the end I will do them. So, but I will apply the same technique. So I will apply first the turquoise color. To thin it down a little bit, it's too thick. To be fair, on the armor they will not pop up in the same way as in the black background. Okay. I will load the ones that are in the front, around the silver line. Okay. Okay. This one I will leave it. I will do that one. And we want to do the same. So I'm going to take no Cantor blue and I will apply it on top. I'm here. I want to follow the same orientation as the ones in the hood, so I will put it here. And I'm missing, I realized that I'm missing the one there. I will do this one, I will apply already the dark blue. And I will have another one at the back, I know. And then later on we can apply the turquoise. Okay, we do the white dot. I will do the same here. And now I can apply the turquoise. And as I said, I want to keep everything in quite a blue tone. If you want them to pop up, you can also do the gems in a different color, but I did not want to go in that direction. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take very light blue, blue horror, and I'm going to edge highlight the ornament of the stuff, the top part. Sorry. going to start with that. And I'm going to do like a edge highlight. And I will enhance the work or the effect that the contrast paint start to do, right? So I will just apply it in some strategic places. And here we have another gem that I miss. So again, we are going to apply it into turquoise. I guess we have, yeah, it's not. Okay, we are going to do this gem in the same way. I will not do this on camera because I've already did it enough. But I will keep working with the blue horror, doing this additional highlights. And I also have another color that is called Baharo blue. Okay, it's more blue than the turquoise color, and I will use this to give a second highlight where it's needed. Okay, so for example here we'll apply to make it more liveful and bright. Then we can use the blue horror. And the other thing I realized is, for example here the contrast have not done the work correctly, and using Cantor blue I'm cleaning up this. Okay, this is the main purpose that we want to do here, is to work on the ornament of the staff to make it look a little bit more contrasting. Liveful, and a little bit of like a glass or something like that. Okay, at the bottom I like it how it looks like with the white rim. You can even use a little bit of white if you want, a little, to make it look like, for example, we can put a little bit of white just on some strategic points. Right, especially in the front that we already have done the highlights. For example, white here, 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 and on the spiky parts. This will make this look quite interesting. Put some white here, for example. I will mix with blue horror so it's not that contrasting. And I think like that I like how it looks like, and I will do the same on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to do this, I'm going to clean up the other side, and I'm back. So next I'm going to use Drakenhof Nightshade to add some more, or to make the gems, especially the ones in the armor, to pop up. Okay, so what I want to do is to apply this around the gem, quite carefully we are going to make a shade from the gem, but I don't want to go too far, so I just want to put a little bit of shade and move to the next one, so like that a little bit, and you can do it a couple of times until you have the shade that you like it. But this is just to help to make the gems a little bit more visible, because yeah, the point is having blue over blue makes the gems almost to melt with the armor. But for me, I'm happy with, because and what I'm looking here is really to have just this blue look on her, right? This is the main objective of my painting here. Trying to avoid that it's pulling too much and making too dark. Okay. Next step, I'm going to use silver again, and I'm going to edge highlight the whole armor, and this will help me as well to clean up if there is mistakes or where the turquoise went too far. Okay, so I have the feeling we need to do that to improve the definition of the armor. For example, here I want to go a little bit more clear on the chest plate. And this, basically, I want to do that to increase a little bit more the resolution of the armor, but this is just an optional step, right? And it depends a lot on the taste of everybody, if you really want it to make it more silver or not. Okay, as you can see, this can be quite, not going to be super long. It'll take it a lot of time because the armor is not that big in that lady. But it's important that if you want to do it, take your time, go carefully, because you don't want to dirty other parts that we already finished. Okay, especially for example here, I want to make the part that is like these waves to be less blue than the flat part. Okay, something like that. So slowly, carefully, I'm going to do all these type of, like a trimming, right? Or edge highlighting. And it depends on you how much you want to do. Okay, so we'll keep doing that, and I'm back for the next step. Okay, so this how looks like now the armor. Quite happy. And now I'm going to finish the work on the fishes, and I think we are going to be done for this lady. So I'm going to take a darker brown. I think I will use let's call this Willwood. Looking for it, sorry. Here we have. I'm going to use Willwood just on the face. And my Willwood is completely dry. Great. I think I have another one. If not, we'll take. Give me a minute. I will use Zygor brown then. Okay. Zygor brown is also a very dark brown. And I will apply it on the head. these guys have like a small horn or what a curious fish. I'll do this one over here. Okay. Now I'm going to take, we can use, thinking a little bit of yellow. Okay, and we can use Ideal Yellow. Yeah, I think Ideal Yellow is the one that we need. Has a little bit here. Let me see how thick it is, or thin. It's a little bit too thin maybe. It will work. And we are going to do some very light highlights. This way I like this a little bit thin. So I just want to add very thin highlights. Like that. And this is mainly to have some contrast with the blue colors of the lady. Okay, so I'm going to apply this on the tails and on the different, just to give this extra bright point and make it pop up a little bit. Okay, something like that. Okay. Okay, I will do all these tails and fins. Okay, and then I also have Fried Dragon Bright, okay, on my palette, and I will use this one to add some very soft highlights on the darker parts. It's also quite thin, so I'm expecting to be quite transparent, but I will apply it. And I can use a little bit of more from brown if you think that is too much. Okay. But I like to give this touch. To give a little more volume. Okay, and again I use, if I have the feeling that is too strong, I have some more from brown on my palette, and I can just use the more from brown is the one I will use on the head. Okay, I will use to highlight here the head as well. where we have applied the Gotha brown. Okay, like that. Thing like that, it will look nice. Here I will apply a little bit of orange. I think having this orange will give a very nice contrast to the blue colors of the, and don't forget to do the other side, okay? So we will need to do as well this side. Another place where I want to do a little bit of highlight, it will be on this ornament, but we have applied the orange previously. I will do the same treatment that I did with the fishes, but I'm going to use directly the Fire Dragon Bright first, and then I will, if it's needed, a little bit of ideal yellow. Just a little bit, not too much. This is the only part I wanted to do in a different color on this lady. All the other parts are on the blue, green spectrum, purple maximum. Everything like that will do. So I will do this part, the highlight on this side, and I'm back for the next step. So the work on this lady is almost done. Now I want to just do the eyes of these fishes. So I will apply first yellow on the eyeball. And I'm using the semi-real yellow. Okay, let's do as well. Okay, and then the next step, I'm going to use black. I'm going to apply it like that. Okay, and in some cases the black went too big. I'm just back with yellow. And I make it a little bit bigger. Okay, I will do the other side, and I'm back just for the end of the video. Okay, and then to finalize, here I have two options. We can use hard coat on the water, and I think I will do it as well on the fishes to give the sensation of wet. Or I'm going to use in that case this thing from Green Staff Wool that is a splash gel. It's will give as well the glossy effect, and yeah, just take an old brush. Normally these things are good in damaging your brushes, and taking a bad brush that I have here, and I will just apply it over the water. Okay, and this will give this sensation of glossiness. Thinking if I will use mainly, will take it because it's quite thick. Let me change my brush. I will go for a softer brush. Help me to create a gloss finishing. The other option is just to use a gloss varnish, and I think will work even better than that. We'll put it there, and you can put it on top of the rocks to give this sensation of wet. Okay, and then we can as well put on the fishes. You can see. Here will work because it will give this, like if there are droplets of water or they are much in water. I don't want too much. I don't want the lady to look wet, so I will just focus on the fishes to do this. Okay, and I will need this device before doing any further step. But I think here I will finalize the work. This last step, again, volunteer if you want to do it or not. I think giving this glossiness on the fishes makes sense. And that's all for now. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please give a like if you have liked this tutorial, share if you think other people can be interested. And as usual, thanks a lot for watching and see you again later. Bye.
I'm taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything.